It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of March 17th, 2000. And we've got two notable movies to talk about here, so let's just go ahead and jump on into it. We'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is Julia Roberts as Erin Brockovich. Or as Bart Simpson likes to call her, the prostitute with a heart of gold. I don't know too much about Erin Brockovich, honestly. Most of it I got from this movie, but I don't really know if that was actually true or not, but probably isn't. But let's talk about this film. It's a dramatization of the true story of Erin Brockovich, played by Julia Roberts, who initiates a legal case against the Pacific Gas and Electric Company over its culpability for the Hinkley groundwater contamination incident. It's directed by Steven Soderbergh, who had a pretty big year in 2000. He was nominated for Best Director for this, and then later in the year he directed Traffic. That one he won an Academy Award for directing, and Julia Roberts won her long overdue Academy Award for this performance, and it really is the best performance of her career. I mean, it's a prime example. This is a prime example of a movie where a performance is way better than the movie itself. I think Roberts really does give it her all in this movie. It really is the best performance of her career in this film, and it what makes the movie worth it. The movie is not bad per se. It's just a pretty generic Cinderella story. There's not really a whole lot of good twists and turns in this. Really, it does feel like a dramatization of what actually happened in real life here. And like I said, it's not a bad movie per se. It has a lot of good performances all around, not just Roberts, but you see Albert Finney in there, you see Aaron Eckhart, Mark Helgenberger, Peter Coyote, Conchita Ferrero, Cherry Jones. I mean, there's a really solid cast involved in here, but the story is very, very generic. It's not really doing anything new or groundbreaking. It's kind of a been there, done that storyline, but it's the performances that do carry it over, and it is really the strongest performance Julia Roberts has given here. I mean, she does give it her all in this film. You can see why she deserved to win the Oscar for this. I mean, she really has given it her all in this film, and it does work because of her and the performances alone. If the story had been a little bit more creative, a little bit more of a generic storyline, like a film that's bordering on Oscar bait, this probably would have been something really special. But as it is, it's fine for what it is. I don't hate the movie per se. I think it is a well-made film, written by Susanna Grant, who wrote a criminally underrated film that we talked about a little bit before with In Her Shoes, which is great with Cameron Diaz and Toni Collette, which will come out in about 5 years from this point. But film itself is good, but at the same time, I don't think it's one of the greatest films that she's done. Her performance in here, I think, really is what carries the movie is to something that is definitely worth the watch. It's not going to be something you'll want to watch on repeat, but it's one you should watch just for her performance alone. I think it's the one thing that does carry the film over and makes it worth it when it's all said and done. I think it's a well-made film. Good enough on its own. Not one of the best films of the year, but it's a good enough film to say, I would definitely say check it out. Erin Brockovich. So with that said, on to our next film, our last film actually, and that is Final Destination. This is, of course, Final Destination, the first of a series of films that would come out between 2000 and 2011. And here, like I said, you have Devon Sawa playing a teenager who cheats death after having a premonition of a catastrophic plane explosion. He and several of his classmates leave the plane before the explosion occurs, but death later takes the lives of those who were meant to die on the plane. The death is played by Tony Todd, which the trailer does a pretty good job of hiding that fact up until the last bit there at the end. Like, you know something shady is with this guy in the end, but it's a really intriguing premise, and it does have a lot of cool ideas. A lot of unique killing sequences happen in here between all the characters in here. They're all throughout the film, and this one could have easily been another generic late 90s, early 90s lame horror ripoff that was trying to be the next Scream, something like an I Know What You Did Last Summer, but it doesn't really do that. It actually does give it an edge that makes it kind of stand out on its own, because you really don't know when things are going to happen. Like, characters get killed off out of nowhere. Like, somebody will just be talking, and then just as soon as they're done talking, a bus will hit them and kill them instantly. And, like, moments like that, I think, do give this movie an edge, because it does keep you on the edge of your seat. It does keep you invested in what's going on and what's going to happen next. And that's the power of this team. James Wong, and then Glenn Morgan and Jeffrey Reddick. Jeffrey Reddick, of course, comes from the X-Files, and Glenn Morgan and James Wong went on to work on several other films. And their works include stuff like The 100 Lives of Blackjack Savage, as well as Space Above and Beyond, and also some X-Files work as well, along with Jeffrey Reddick. But it's a really good film. It's a film that really could have been another generic late 90s, early 2000s horror movie that was trying to be the next Scream, but in the end, it becomes something very unique and very interesting and leads to a series of films. And the next film would expand on these ideas more and create even more memorable sequences. When we get to Final Destination 2, that's where they really take it to the next level, and they really play with the ideas that they're working with here. It's a really good film. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen these movies. I finally got to watch them this year for the first time. I'm glad I did, because most of them are pretty good. Most of them. 3 is kind of a messed up. 3 is not that great. 4 and 5 are just, but at least they were better than 3. But yeah, this series is worth it just for the creative ways they kill people, and like, it's fun to watch. It's a fun movie. It's a cheesy film, but a good, fun, cheesy film with a cool idea overall. I highly recommend checking it out. Final Destination, definitely seek it out if you haven't seen it. And so with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. When we meet next time, we'll have 3 more movies to look at, including a new twist on Romeo and Juliet, Jet Li and Aaliyah in Romeo Must Die. We also have Chris Klein and Josh Hartnett in Here on Earth. And we also have the comedy Whatever It Takes. So 3 films to look at next time. We will delve into those on the next episode. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. Now, don't go too far away, because coming up next, we're going to have Time About the Movies flashback after this video gets updated. Today we're taking a look at September 9th, 1988, with 4 movies, including Richard Dreyfuss in Raul Julia in Moon Over Parador. We also have Judd Nelson and River Phoenix in Running on Empty. I can't remember the third film. Track 29, and also Some Girls with Patrick Dempsey and Jennifer Connelly. So 4 films to look at next on Time About the Movies Flashback, and like I said, that will be posted right after this.